The rain hasn't stopped in 4 days. Neither has Marcus Brennan's grief. He stands at the window, 53 floors above the city, watching water streak down glass. His reflection stares back. Dark circles under his eyes. 3-day stubble. Wedding ring still on his finger even though she's been dead for 3 years. Where did you learn that song? The woman backs against the wall, terror in her eyes. Her cleaning cloth trembles in her hands. I don't know what you mean, Mr. Brennan. Don't lie to me. That melody. My wife wrote it. She never recorded it. Never showed it to anyone but me. So how the hell do you know it? Silence fills the space between them. The kind of silence that changes everything. Your wife didn't write it, sir. His chest tightens. What? She meets his eyes. There's sorrow there. And truth. My mother did. Welcome back to another powerful story, my beloved listeners. Kindly tell where you're watching from and what time it is where you're at. If you're new here, prepare for a story of betrayal, unexpected love, and what truly makes a family. Drop everything and listen closely. This tale of heartbreak and redemption might just change how you view love and family forever. 4 days earlier. The penthouse feels like a tomb tonight. Marcus's assistant left at 7. His private chef prepared meals for the week and disappeared by 8. Now it's 11:45 and he's alone with 17 rooms of silence and furniture chosen by a woman who will never sit on it. He should sleep. Board meeting at 6 in the morning. Instead he pours scotch he won't drink and walks empty hallways like a ghost haunting his own life. The motion sensor lights click on as he passes. Click off behind him. His footsteps echo on Italian marble. Every sound in this place is an echo. Nothing feels solid anymore. Nothing feels real. He stops in front of Elena's portrait in the entrance hall. She's laughing in the photo. Head thrown back. Hair catching sunlight. Taken in Santorini 7 years ago. Their first vacation together. Before the wedding. Before the empire doubled in size. Before cancer took her in 6 brutal months. You left too soon. He says it out loud because no one's here to think he's losing his mind. Though maybe he is. 3 years and he still sets 2 coffee cups out in the morning. Still reaches for her side of the bed in his sleep. Still keeps her studio locked because opening that door means accepting she's never coming back. The scotch sits untouched in his hand. He moves toward the east wing. The part of the penthouse he never enters after dark. Her space. Her sanctuary. The room where she painted and played piano and composed the melodies that made her happy when nothing else could. He's about to turn back when he hears it. Singing. Marcus stops mid-step. The glass nearly slips from his hand. The voice comes from down the hall. From the direction of Elena's studio. Soft at first. Then stronger. A melody he knows like his own heartbeat. His pulse hammers. This isn't possible. The song is Elena's. She composed it in Santorini. Scribbled notes on cafe napkins while watching the sunset. She called it the Song of What Remains and never finished the lyrics. Never showed it to anyone but him. She'd hum it while painting. While falling asleep against his shoulder. While dying in that hospital bed, morphine soft and fading. And now someone is singing it in his house. Marcus sets the glass down on a side table. His hands shake. He moves toward the sound like a man in a dream. Or a nightmare. He can't tell which. The melody grows clearer. A woman's voice. Professionally trained. Every note precise, but underneath the precision there's something raw. Something that sounds like grief turned into music. The studio door is open. He hasn't opened that door in 3 years. Locked it the day after Elena's funeral and hasn't touched it since. But it's open now. Soft light spills into the hallway. Through the gap he sees her. The night maid. He doesn't know her name. She's been with the cleaning service for maybe 2 months. Always arrives after he's supposed to be asleep. Always gone before dawn. Invisible labor. Invisible life. But she's not invisible now. She sits on the floor beside Elena's grand piano. Cleaning supplies scattered around her. Eyes closed. Tears running down her face. The song pours out of her in a language he doesn't recognize at first. Then he realizes it's the same melody but she's added words. Lyrics in what sounds like Russian. This isn't casual singing. This is someone bleeding their soul into empty air. Her voice rises and falls with a kind of control that comes from years of training. Conservatory level. Maybe higher. But there's something underneath the technique that no school can teach. Pain. Loss. The sound of someone who understands what it means to lose everything. Marcus stands in the hallway, barely breathing. Any movement might shatter whatever spell has filled this moment. His vision blurs. He doesn't realize he's crying until he tastes salt. When the last note fades, the silence is unbearable. The woman opens her eyes. Wipes her face with the back of her hand. Stands up. Picks up her cleaning cloth and goes back to dusting shelves like nothing happened. Like she didn't just crack open her chest and show her heart to an empty room. Marcus should walk away. Should leave before she sees him. But his feet won't move. Where did you learn that song? His voice comes out raw. Almost hostile. The woman spins around. Her eyes go wide. The cloth drops from her hand. Mr. Brennan. I'm so sorry. I thought everyone was gone. It won't happen again. Please don't fire me. He steps into the studio. Where did you learn it? I don't know what you mean. She backs toward the wall. Her whole body tense like she's ready to run. That melody. My wife composed it 7 years ago. In Greece. She never recorded it. Never performed it publicly. Never published it. He moves closer. So I'll ask you again. Where the hell did you learn my dead wife's song? The woman's face drains of color. For a moment she doesn't speak. Just stares at him like she's seeing a ghost. Or maybe he's the one seeing ghosts. He can't tell anymore. Then her shoulders drop. Something shifts in her expression. A door opening to a truth she's been carrying alone. Your wife didn't write it, sir. The words hit him like a physical blow. What? Elena Brennan didn't compose that melody. She meets his eyes. My mother did. The world tilts. Marcus grabs the edge of the piano to steady himself. That's impossible. It's not. The woman's voice is quiet but firm. My mother's name was Sofia Koslov. She was a composer. Moscow Conservatory. Then Prague. Then New York. She wrote that melody in 1987. 37 years ago. You're lying. I'm not. Elena wrote that song. She told me it came to her while watching the sunset in Santorini. That it just appeared in her mind like a gift. The woman's eyes fill with something that looks like pity. My mother told me the same story. Except in her version it was Prague. 1987. After her son was stillborn and she thought she'd never make music again. She was sitting by the river and the melody came to her fully formed. Like her lost child was singing to her from wherever children go when they don't get to be born. Marcus's legs feel weak. He sits down hard on the piano bench. The woman stays against the wall. Watching him. Waiting. How do you know what Elena told me about Santorini? Because my mother wrote about it in her journals. She met your wife in 2016. At a cafe in Brooklyn. My mother was dying. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. Maybe 6 months left. Elena came in every Tuesday for coffee and they started talking. Elena never mentioned knowing anyone named Sophia. She wouldn't have. Their friendship was private. Secret even. The woman's hands twist together. My mother was proud. She didn't want charity. But she was lonely. Estranged from our family because of her drinking. Her choices. Elena was kind to her. Listened to her. My mother showed her things she hadn't shown anyone in years. What things? Her music. Old compositions. Unfinished pieces. Things she wrote before her life fell apart. Including that song. Including that song. The rain hammers against the floor-to-ceiling windows. Marcus can't breathe. Can't think. Everything he thought he knew is crumbling. My mother died in January 2017. The woman's voice cracks. Elena went to Santorini a month later and came back claiming she'd written the melody herself. You're saying my wife stole it? I'm saying your wife loved it enough to claim it. Maybe she convinced herself it was hers. Maybe she knew exactly what she was doing. I don't know. The woman looks at him with that same terrible pity. I just know my mother wrote that song, and hearing you play it over and over in this penthouse for the last 2 months has been breaking my heart. Marcus stands. Anger rising hot and fast. If this is true, why didn't you say something before? And tell the grieving billionaire that his dead wife was a thief. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. How would that have gone? I needed this job, Mr. Brennan. I have a daughter to support. Medical bills from my mother's care that will follow me to my grave. I couldn't afford to lose work because I wanted to defend a dead woman's legacy against another dead woman's lie. So you've been cleaning my house knowing this the whole time? Yes. Her chin lifts. And hating every second of it. They stare at each other across the studio. Across the impossible distance between their versions of truth. Prove it. Marcus hears himself say. Prove your mother wrote that song. The woman pulls her phone from her uniform pocket. Her hands shake as she scrolls. Then she turns the screen toward him. It's a photograph of a handwritten musical score. The melody is there. Every note of the song of What Remains. At the top in Cyrillic script and then English. Sofia Koslov. Moscow Conservatory. 1987. Below the score there's a photograph. A younger woman. Dark hair pulled back. Sad eyes. A smile that doesn't reach them. She looks exactly like the woman standing in front of him now. Marcus sits down again. His vision swims. My mother had nothing when she died. The woman's voice is barely above a whisper. No money. No home. No legacy. Just boxes of music nobody would ever hear. I thought at least her work was hers. Then I got assigned to this penthouse and heard you playing her melody, and I realized even that had been taken from her. She walks toward the door. I'll resign tomorrow. Find a different service. You won't have to see me again. Wait. She stops. Marcus looks at the photograph. At the score. At the date written in faded ink. Tell me about your mother. Everything. The woman turns. Searches his face for the trap. Why? Because if what you're saying is true, then I didn't know my wife at all. He meets her eyes. And I need to understand why. She stands there for a long moment. Then she walks back into the studio. Sits down on the floor in the same spot where she was singing. Not on furniture. Not presuming equality. But not running either. Marcus slides off the piano bench. Sits on the floor across from her. What's your name? Vera. Vera Koslov. Tell me about Sofia. Vera. So she does. They talk until dawn. The rain doesn't stop. Neither do the revelations. Sofia Koslov was brilliant. That's what Vera says first. Top of her class at Moscow Conservatory. Composed her first symphony at 19. Had offers from orchestras across Europe. Then she fell in love with a jazz musician who had a heroin problem, and she thought love would be enough to save him. It wasn't. He died of an overdose when Vera was 3 years old. Sofia spiraled. Started drinking. Couldn't hold jobs. Moved from Moscow to Prague to Berlin to New York. Chasing work that never materialized. Her family cut her off. Friends disappeared. The music remained, but nobody wanted to hear it. She taught piano to children for rent money. Vera's voice is flat. Took cleaning jobs. Waitressed. Whatever kept us fed. But she never stopped composing. Late at night she'd sit at whatever keyboard we could afford and she'd write. The song of What Remains was about everything she'd lost. Everyone who'd left. The son who died before birth. The man she loved who chose drugs over life. The career that slipped away. The family that disowned her. Vera looks at the piano. She played it for me once when I was 16. I asked what the title meant. She said, when everything else is gone, music remains. Love remains. The echo of who we were remains. Marcus closes his eyes. Elena said almost the exact same thing. Because my mother told her. They sit in silence. Outside the windows the sky is turning grey. Dawn coming whether they're ready or not. Why did they meet? Marcus asks. Your mother and Elena. What brought them together? Vera hesitates. You might not want to know. I need to know. She takes a breath. My mother attended a grief support group at the community center in Brooklyn. For parents who'd lost children. Marcus's chest tightens. What? She'd lost a son. Years before I was born. Stillborn at 8 months. She never got over it. Vera looks at him. Elena attended the same group. For the same reason. No. Marcus stands. No. Elena never. We never lost. Before you. Vera's voice is gentle. Before you met. She'd been married before. Very young. Got pregnant. Lost the baby at 7 months. Her first husband left her. She fell apart. Marcus backs against the wall. She never told me any of this. People don't always tell us their worst wounds. Sometimes they bury them and build new lives on top. Vera's eyes are kind now. My mother's journals say Elena was trying to heal. That she came to the group for 2 years. Every Tuesday. Working through her grief. That's where they became friends. And Elena never mentioned her to me because you met her right after. She was ready to move on. Start over. Maybe telling you would have meant bringing all that pain into your new life together. Vera shrugs. Or maybe she wanted to keep that part of herself separate. I don't know. Marcus slides down the wall. Sits on the floor with his head in his hands. What else? His voice comes out hoarse. What else did Elena tell your mother? That she was afraid she'd never be whole again. That she felt like a house with missing rooms. That music was the only thing that made her feel connected to what she'd lost. Her baby. Her younger self. Her dreams. Vera pulls her knees to her chest. My mother understood that. They bonded over it. When my mother showed Elena her compositions, it was an act of trust. She was sharing the only beautiful thing she had left. And Elena took it. Elena took it. Vera nods. Maybe to honor my mother. Maybe because she needed something beautiful that didn't hurt. Maybe because she wanted to give you something precious and her own grief felt too heavy to share. I've been angry about it for 2 months. But sitting here now telling you this, I think maybe I understand. Understand what? That broken people do desperate things to feel whole again. The words hang in the air. Marcus thinks about Elena. Beautiful, vibrant Elena who laughed easily and loved fiercely and never seemed haunted by anything. He thought he knew her completely. Now he realizes he only knew the version she wanted him to see. She played that song constantly. His voice breaks. In this studio. Late at night. I'd wake up and hear it drifting through the penthouse. She'd tell me it was our song. That she composed it for us. Maybe she believed that by the end. Vera says softly. Maybe she played it so often it became true in her mind. Or maybe she was trying to keep your mother's memory alive the only way she knew how. They look at each other. Both grieving women they barely understand. I hated you. Vera admits. When I first came here. The billionaire who had everything. The penthouse. The company. The beautiful wife who stole my mother's legacy. I wanted you to suffer. I am suffering. I know. I see it now. She wipes her eyes. You're as lost as my mother was. As lost as Elena must have been. Marcus laughs, but it's bitter. We're all just broken people stumbling through the dark. Yes. They sit in the growing light. The studio around them full of ghosts. Outside the rain is finally stopping. Grey dawn spreads across the city. Marcus hasn't slept. Neither has Vera. But something has shifted between them. Some wall has come down. Marcus stands. Moves to the piano. Sits down. His fingers find the keys. Sing it. He says. The way your mother sang it. Vera looks up. Mr. Brennan. Marcus. Call me Marcus. She stands slowly. Moves to stand beside the piano. He plays the opening notes. She begins to sing. Not in English. In Russian. The lyrics her mother wrote. The original version. Before Elena stripped the words away and claimed the melody as her own. Vera's voice fills the studio. Marcus plays, and somewhere in the space between the notes and the words, he feels something break open in his chest. 3 years of frozen grief. 3 years of living in a museum to a woman who wasn't real. When they finish, both of them are crying. Your mother was a genius. Marcus says. I know. Elena was a thief. Maybe. Vera touches the piano gently. Or maybe she was just someone who loved something so much she convinced herself it was hers to keep. Aren't we all thieves of beauty? Don't we all try to claim the things that make us feel less alone? Marcus looks at her. This woman who's been cleaning his house. Carrying her mother's stolen legacy in silence. Grieving in the shadows while he grieved in marble and glass. What if we gave your mother what Elena took? What do you mean? Credit. Publication. Recognition. His mind starts racing. What if we recorded it properly? Released it under your mother's name? Made sure the world knows Sofia Koslov wrote this? Vera stares at him. You'd do that? After your wife? My wife is dead. Her reputation is already myth. But your mother. He stands. Your mother deserves to be remembered for what she created. Let me help make that happen. Why would you? Because you're right. We're all broken. But maybe we can fix something together. Vera's eyes fill. I can't afford. I'm not asking you to pay. I'm asking you to trust me. He holds out his hand. Let me do this. For your mother. For Elena to give her one honest thing. For both of us, so we can turn theft into tribute. She looks at his hand for a long moment. Then she takes it. 3 months later, Marcus sits in a recording studio in Lower Manhattan watching Vera sing her mother's songs. Not just the song of what remains. All of them. The dozens of compositions Sofia Koslov wrote and never heard performed. Symphonic pieces. Piano sonatas. Art songs in Russian and English. Jazz experiments. Lullabies. Vera isn't a professional singer. Her voice cracks sometimes. Wavers on the high notes. But there's something in the way she interprets her mother's music. An intimacy. An understanding. No trained vocalist could replicate it. She sounds like she's singing to someone very far away. The producer murmurs. Marcus nods. She is. The recording sessions started 6 weeks ago. Marcus called in favors. Found Maria Chen. A producer who'd worked on charity events with him before. Someone he trusted not to exploit this. Maria heard Vera sing once and cried. This is sacred. Maria said. We have to get this right. So they've taken their time. Vera works her 3 jobs during the day. Night maid at the penthouse from 10 until 6. Morning shift at a cafe in Brooklyn from 7 to 2. Retail on weekends. Then she comes here at night and pours her mother's music into microphones. Marcus watches through the glass. Vera's eyes are closed. She's singing something in Russian. A lullaby Sofia wrote for the son who never got to hear it. Tears stream down Vera's face, but her voice doesn't waver. The engineer looks at Marcus. She's extraordinary. She's her mother's daughter. In the booth, Vera finishes the song. Opens her eyes. Looks through the glass at Marcus. He nods. She smiles. Just a small one. But it's real. These past 3 months have changed everything. After that first night in the studio, Marcus and Vera started meeting regularly. Going through Sofia's archives. Boxes of handwritten scores. Journals. Recordings on old cassette tapes. A lifetime of music that nobody knew existed. Vera brought everything to the penthouse. They turned Elena's studio into a workspace. Sorted through Sofia's legacy piece by piece. It was during those long nights that Marcus started to really see her. Not the night maid. Not the grieving daughter. Vera. The woman who worked 3 jobs without complaint. Who sent 80% of her income to her daughter's private school and her mother's remaining medical debt. Who sang like an angel and cleaned toilets with the same dignity. Who was brilliant and kind and stronger than anyone Marcus had ever met. He found himself racing home from board meetings. Making excuses to leave networking dinners early. just to sit on the studio floor across from her and listen to her talk about her mother, about music, about life. His assistant noticed. "You seem different lately. Less haunted." Marcus shrugged. "Just sleeping better." But it wasn't sleep. It was her. Vera's laugh when he made terrible jokes. The way her whole face changed when she talked about her daughter. Her strength. Her refusal to accept anything that looked like charity. The fact that she challenged him. Treated him like a human being instead of a monument to wealth. He was falling for her. In the booth, Vera starts another song. This one lighter. Almost hopeful. Marcus leans forward. He hasn't heard this one before. Maria checks the title on the score. Second movement. Written 2 weeks before Sophia died. Marcus feels something tighten in his chest. What's it about? Maria reads the note Sophia left. Written after a visit from a friend who told me about the man she'll marry. Someone who sees her truly sees her. I want to believe people get second chances. That love can be uncomplicated and good. This is for her. For the life she'll have after I'm gone. For all of us who hope there's a second movement after the first one ends in silence. The friend was Elena. Must have been. Vera sings and Marcus understands. Sophia wrote this for Elena. For the love Elena found with him. The second chance after grief. The hope that life continues even after loss. Elena never shared this song. Never mentioned it. Kept it locked away with all the other secrets. But now Vera is bringing it into the world. Her voice carries Sophia's blessing. Sophia's belief in second chances. In love after loss. In music that doesn't end just because the composer stops writing. When the session ends, Vera comes out of the booth. Her eyes are red but she's smiling. That was beautiful. Marcus says. My mother's last gift to your wife. Vera sits down beside him. Even after Elena took her song, my mother still wanted her to be happy. Still believed in her capacity for love. Sophia was a better person than I am. Than any of us. They sit in the quiet studio. Outside the city roars. Inside there's just the two of them and the ghost of Sophia's grace. Marcus turns to her. Vera. I need to tell you something. She tenses. What? These past 3 months. Working with you. Learning about your mother. Learning about you. He takes a breath. You've become the most important part of my day. Marcus. Wait. Let me finish. I know this is complicated. I know I'm still grieving. I know you have every reason to keep me at a distance. But you're the first real thing I've felt since Elena died. Maybe before. And I can't keep pretending I don't feel it. Vera stands quickly. Moves toward the door. I should go. Please don't. She stops. Her back to him. Your wife. Would want me to be happy. Wouldn't she? He stands. Isn't that what we tell ourselves about the dead? That they want us to live? I don't know what the dead want. Her voice shakes. I only know what the living need. And you need time. Healing. Not another complicated relationship with someone carrying her own grief. Maybe. Or maybe broken people are the only ones who understand each other. She turns. That's a terrible foundation for love. I know. But it's what we have. He moves toward her slowly. Reaches for her hand. She doesn't pull away. I'm scared. She whispers. Me too. This could destroy everything we've built. Or it could make it real. Vera looks at their joined hands. My mother's last journal entry was about second chances. About believing that music continues even after the composer stops writing. Do you believe that? I'm starting to. She kisses him then. Soft and hesitant. Tasting like salt and uncertainty and hope. He kisses her back. Careful. Terrified. Alive. When they break apart, she's crying. I have a daughter. I can't bring someone into her life unless I'm sure. I understand. And you're still grieving, Elena. You need to be sure too. I am sure. You can't be. Not yet. She touches his face. But maybe we can try. Slowly. Carefully. See if this is real or just two lonely people reaching for something in the dark. Slowly. He agrees. Carefully. They stand there in the studio. Not quite together. Not quite apart. Somewhere in between. Where most real things live. The album takes another month to finish. Vera sings. Marcus funds everything. Maria produces with the kind of reverence usually reserved for classical masters. They release it on what would have been Sophia's 68th birthday. The music of Sofia Koslov's songs that remain. Marcus writes the press release himself. Sofia Koslov was a forgotten genius. A composer whose brilliance was buried under circumstances and loss. This is her legacy preserved by her daughter Vera Koslov and championed by Marcus Brennan, whose late wife Elena Brennan was mentored by Sofia in her final days. It's a generous lie. A way to protect Elena's reputation while honoring Sofia's truth. Vera reads it and cries. You didn't have to do that. She says. Protect her. She was still the woman I loved. Marcus says. She deserves grace. So does my mother. They both get it. That's the point. The album releases quietly. No huge marketing campaign. Just the music uploaded to streaming platforms. A few emails to music critics Marcus knows. Some posts on classical music forums. The first week brings modest numbers. A few hundred streams. Some kind reviews from bloggers who appreciate obscure composers. Then something shifts. A film composer tweets about discovering a hidden genius. A dance company in Portland licenses the song of What Remains for a performance. A classical music podcast does a full episode on Sofia's life and work. By week 3, the album has 50,000 streams. By week 6, it's at 300,000. It's not a viral hit. Not a commercial blockbuster. But it's something better. It's respect. Recognition. Permanence. Sofia Koslov's name is being spoken. Her music is being heard. Students are studying her compositions. Orchestras are adding her pieces to their repertoires. She's no longer forgotten. Vera calls Marcus at 2 in the morning crying so hard she can't speak. What's wrong? He's out of bed immediately. Are you okay? Is your daughter okay? She finally gets words out. A conservatory in Prague. They want to add my mother's work to their curriculum. They're naming a scholarship after her. Marcus closes his eyes. That's incredible. She existed. Vera sobs. People know she existed. Her work matters. She wasn't just someone who died sad and broke and forgotten. She never was. Marcus says gently. You always knew that. Now the world does too. Thank you. She whispers. Thank you for giving this to her. To me. We did it together. After they hang up, Marcus doesn't go back to sleep. He sits in Elena's studio. Their studio now. Sofia's music playing softly. Outside the window the city lights blur. Inside he feels something he hasn't felt in 3 years. Purpose. 6 months after that first confrontation, Marcus and Vera stand in the penthouse studio on a Saturday afternoon. Sun streams through the windows. No rain today. Just light. Vera's daughter Sofia, named after her grandmother, sits at the piano trying to pick out a melody. She's 14. Bright eyes. Her mother's smile. Cautious around Marcus but warming. That's good. Vera encourages. Try the next phrase. Young Sofia plays. Gets frustrated. Tries again. Marcus watches from the doorway. This scene. This moment. Life happening in a room that used to be a shrine. Vera looks up. Sees him. Smiles. They are taking it slow. Dating but not living together. He's met her daughter 3 times now. Careful introductions. Nothing rushed. Both of them aware of how fragile this is. How much both of them have to lose. But it's real. Whatever this is between them. It's real. Marcus's phone buzzes. He checks it. His assistant. Emergency board meeting Monday morning. One of their biggest contracts is falling apart. 6 months ago this would have consumed him. Sent him spiraling into work as an escape from feeling anything. Now he texts back, "I'll be there." Then he puts the phone away and walks into the studio. "Can I try?" he asks young Sophia. She scoots over on the piano bench. He sits down, plays the melody she was struggling with, then shows her the fingering. "Like this. See?" She tries again. Gets it this time. Her face lights up. "I did it." "You did." Vera watches them. Her hand rests on her daughter's shoulder. Her eyes meet Marcus's over the girl's head. There's a question there. An invitation. A maybe. He nods. "Yes." Whatever she's asking. "Yes." Later, after young Sophia leaves to meet friends, Vera and Marcus sit in the studio alone. "She's warming up to you," Vera says. "Good. Because I'm not going anywhere." She leans against him. "This is complicated." "I know. My life is messy. A teenage daughter. 3 jobs. Medical debt. No college degree. Baggage you can't even imagine. I don't care about any of that." "You should." She looks up at him. "I'm not Elena. I'll never be elegant society wife material. I don't know which fork to use at fancy dinners. I can't make small talk with your business partners. I clean houses for a living, Marcus. I don't want Elena." He turns to face her. "I want you. The woman who sings her mother's songs. Who works 3 jobs without complaint. Who raised an incredible daughter alone. Who challenges me and sees me and makes me want to be better. What if this doesn't work? What if it does?" She kisses him. Slower this time. More certain. When they break apart, she says, "I love you." The words hit him like light. Like music. Like waking up from a 3-year coma. "I love you too." They sit together in the studio as afternoon turns to evening. The city spreads out below them. Inside there's just this. 2 broken people building something whole. Marcus's phone buzzes again. More work crisis. He ignores it. Vera notices. "You should check that." "It can wait." She smiles. "Look at you. Marcus Brennan choosing life over spreadsheets. You're a terrible influence." "I know." Outside the windows the sun sets. Inside they stay, talking about the foundation Marcus wants to create. An idea that's been growing for weeks. "What if we make this permanent?" he says. "Not just your mother's music. What if we create something that supports composers like her? People who are brilliant but struggling. Give them grants. Recording opportunities. Make sure they don't disappear." Vera sits up. "You're serious?" "Completely." He pulls out his tablet. "I've been working with lawyers. The Sofia Koslov Foundation for Underrepresented Composers. We launch next year. Fund 30 composers in the first year. Provide them with studio time. Mentorship. Everything your mother never had." "Marcus." Her voice breaks. "I want you to run it. Director salary. Benefits. Real position. You'd quit the other jobs. Focus on this full time. That's charity. It's a job. One you're qualified for. One that honors your mother and helps people like her." He meets her eyes. "Stop punishing yourself for needing help." She's quiet for a long time. Then she says, "Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll do it. I'll run the foundation. I'll quit the cafe and the retail job." She pauses. "But I keep the night position here." "Vera, you don't have to." "I know. But I want to. This is where it started. Where I sang and you heard me. Where everything changed." She touches the piano. "I'm not ready to let that go." He understands. "Okay. Keep it." They shake hands like business partners. Then they laugh because it's ridiculous. Shaking hands when they've already said "I love you." When they've already started building a life. But some things need formality. Need ritual. This is one of them. The foundation launches 3 months later. Marcus provides the initial funding. $10 million to start. Vera builds the structure. Application process. Review panels. Mentorship programs. They fund 37 composers in the first year. 3 get their work premiered by major orchestras. 1 wins a significant composition prize. All of them write thank you letters to Vera that make her cry. This is what my mother deserved. She tells Marcus one night. Someone to believe in her. To invest in her talent instead of watching her disappear. We can't save everyone. No. But we can save some. And that matters. The foundation becomes Vera's passion. She works 12-hour days. Reviews applications at night. Fights for composers nobody else believes in. Becomes a fierce advocate. A force. Marcus watches her transform. From invisible knight maid to powerhouse. From someone who hid her voice to someone who amplifies others. He falls more in love with her every day. 1 year after that first night in the studio, they're back in the same space. Anniversary of sorts. Though of what they're not quite sure. The confrontation. The revelation. The beginning of whatever this is becoming. Vera sits at the piano. Plays the song of what remains. Marcus listens from the floor. Their usual spots reversed. When she finishes she says, I don't hate Elena anymore. He looks up. No. No. I understand her now. She was trying to survive her grief the only way she knew. She took something beautiful because she needed it to live. That's not evil. She turns to him. That's just human. My wife stole your mother's legacy. Your wife was broken and desperate and trying to feel whole. Vera shakes her head. I spent so long being angry. But anger doesn't bring my mother back. It doesn't undo what happened. All it does is poison me. So you forgive her. I release her. There's a difference. Marcus stands. Moves to sit beside her on the piano bench. What about me? Do you forgive me for loving her? For not knowing the truth? There's nothing to forgive. You loved who she let you see. We all do that. Show the versions of ourselves we can bear to share. What version of yourself are you showing me? The real one. She takes his hand. Messy. Scared. Hopeful. Falling in love with a man I never expected to meet. Building a life I never thought I'd have. He kisses her. Slow and deep. A promise. When they break apart she's crying again. I cry too much around you. I like your tears. They're honest. She laughs. You're strange, Marcus Brennan. I know. They sit at the piano together. His hands on the keys. Her hands over his. Together they play Sophia's melody. The song that brought them together. The song that was stolen and returned. The song that changed everything. Outside the penthouse the city moves. Inside they make music. And somewhere in the space between notes they find what they didn't know they were looking for. Second chances. Second movements. The life that comes after grief ends. The song of what remains. The Sofia Koslov Foundation opens its doors on a Tuesday morning in October. Not in some corporate high-rise. In a converted brownstone in Brooklyn. 3 floors. Practice rooms. Recording booth. Office space. Library of scores from forgotten composers. Vera stands in the entrance hall watching the first group of grant recipients arrive. Young composers. Old composers. People who've been told their whole lives that their music doesn't matter. That they don't have what it takes. That they should give up and get real jobs. She knows every single one of their stories because she lived it. Her mother lived it. The desperate hope. The constant rejection. The slow death of dreams. Not anymore. A woman in her 60s approaches. Hands shaking as she holds her portfolio. I can't believe I'm here. The woman says. I've been composing for 40 years. Nobody's ever wanted to hear it. Vera takes her hands. We want to hear it. That's why you're here. The woman starts crying. Vera holds her. Lets her weep. Understands that these aren't sad tears. These are the tears of someone finally being seen. Marcus watches from the doorway. He flew in from London this morning. Emergency board meeting that couldn't wait. But he made sure to be here for this. Opening day. The culmination of everything they've built. Vera sees him. Smiles. He nods. They haven't told anyone they're together. Not officially. In public they're business partners. Foundation director and primary donor. Professional. Appropriate. Safe. But everyone who matters knows. The way he looks at her. The way she lights up when he enters a room. The fact that he rearranged his entire schedule to be here on a random Tuesday morning. His assistant definitely knows. His mother knows and approves. Vera's daughter knows and is cautiously optimistic. The rest of the world can speculate. They're not ready to make it public. Not yet. Too much scrutiny. Too many people ready to say she slept her way into opportunity. That is having a midlife crisis. That it won't last. Let them wonder. After the orientation session ends, Vera finds Marcus in the library. He's looking through Sophia's original scores. Framed now. Preserved behind glass. This is incredible. He says without turning around. What you've built here. What we built. No. He turns to face her. This is yours. Your vision. Your passion. I just wrote the checks. Those checks matter. Not as much as this. He gestures to the building. To the composers gathering in the practice rooms. You're saving lives here, Vera. I'm giving people what my mother never had. A chance. She moves to stand beside him. Together they look at Sophia's handwriting. The notes she scribbled decades ago. Music that almost died with her. Your mother would be proud. Marcus says quietly. I hope so. He takes her hand. Quick. Private. Then let's go before anyone can see. Dinner tonight? He asks. Can't. Foundation board meeting. Then I have grant reviews until midnight. Tomorrow. Breakfast. Before your flight to Tokyo. He grimaces. The Tokyo trip. 3 days of meetings he can't reschedule. 3 days away from her. I'll be back Friday. I know. They stand there not quite touching. The space between them electric with everything they're not saying. Everything they're not doing because they're in public and this has to look professional. It's torture. Beautiful torture. A young composer appears in the doorway. Nervous. Clutching sheet music. Ms. Koslov? Sorry to interrupt. But I was hoping you could look at something. Of course. Vera's whole demeanor shifts. Professional. Focused. She turns to Marcus. We'll talk later. Later. He watches her walk away. Watches her sit down with the young composer. Watches her transform someone's anxiety into hope with just her presence. Her attention. He's never loved anyone the way he loves her. His phone buzzes. His assistant. Car waiting. Flight to Tokyo in 3 hours. Marcus takes one last look at Vera. She's laughing now. The young composer is smiling. The room is full of light. He leaves before she can see him go. It's easier that way. The Foundation's first year exceeds every expectation. 37 composers funded. 12 major premieres. 1 Pulitzer Prize finalist. 3 full-time teaching positions secured. Dozens of lives changed. Vera works herself to exhaustion. Reviews applications until 3 in the morning. Attends every single premiere. Writes recommendation letters. Makes phone calls. Fights for her composers like they're her children. Marcus barely sees her. He's traveling constantly. Mergers. Acquisitions. The company expanding into new markets. His board expects results. His shareholders demand growth. They text when they can. Video calls across time zones. Stolen hours when their schedules align. It's not enough. Both of them know it. Neither of them knows how to fix it. I miss you, she says one night. 2 in the morning her time. Noon in Singapore where he's stuck in back-to-back meetings. Miss you too. When are you home? Thursday. Maybe Friday if the Hong Kong deal falls through. She's quiet. He can see her face on the small screen. Tired. Beautiful. Sad. This isn't working. She says finally. His chest tightens. What isn't? Us. This. You're never here. I'm always working. We see each other maybe twice a month. She wipes her eyes. I love you, Marcus, but I don't know how to be in a relationship with someone I never see. What are you saying? I don't know. I just... She looks away. Maybe we moved too fast. Maybe we weren't ready. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just being honest. This is hard. Harder than I thought it would be. Then we'll figure it out. He's desperate now. Doesn't care who in the Singapore office can hear him through the conference room walls. I'll travel less. You can come with me sometimes. We'll make it work. I can't travel, Marcus. I have the foundation. I have my daughter. I can't just fly to Singapore on a whim. I'm not asking you to. Then what are you asking? For you to not give up on us. She closes her eyes. I'm not giving up. I'm just tired. And lonely. And starting to wonder if loving you is enough when we're always apart. The call ends. Not with a decision. Just with exhaustion. The kind that settles into bones and doesn't leave. Marcus sits in the Singapore conference room staring at his blank phone screen. His assistant knocks. They're ready for you, sir. He wants to say cancel it. Cancel everything. Book a flight home right now. But he doesn't. Because the Hong Kong deal affects 3,000 jobs. Because his board is counting on him. Because he built an empire and empires don't run themselves. So he goes back to the meeting. Puts on his game face. Negotiates and compromises and wins. But it feels like losing. Things get worse before they get better. A tabloid runs a story. Billionaire CEO and his Cinderella maid. Photos of Marcus and Vera leaving the foundation building. Speculation about their relationship. Thinly veiled suggestions about how Vera really got her position. The article is cruel. Calls her a gold digger. Questions her qualifications. Implies that Marcus is having a midlife crisis. Trading his elegant dead wife for the help. Vera reads it and something inside her breaks. She calls Marcus. He's in London. Did you see it? I saw it. They're calling me a prostitute, Marcus. Saying I slept my way into running the foundation. Nobody who matters believes that. Everyone believes it. She's crying now. The board members who already didn't trust me. The composers who wonder why someone with no formal credentials is running a major foundation. Your business partners who think you've lost your mind. Vera. I can't do this. I can't be the woman who destroyed your reputation. Who made you a laughingstock. You're not. I am. And you know what the worst part is? She laughs bitterly. Part of me wonders if they're right. Maybe I don't deserve this position. Maybe I only got it because we're sleeping together. Stop. Marcus's voice is sharp. You got that position because you're brilliant. Because you understand composers like nobody else can. Because you've built something extraordinary from nothing. Or because you love me and wanted to help. Both things can be true. She's quiet. Vera, listen to me. I don't care what some tabloid says. I don't care what people think. I care about you. About us. About the work you're doing. That's easy for you to say. You're not the one they're calling a whore. The word hits him like a slap. I'm sorry. He says. I'm so sorry this is happening. Me too. Come to London. Please. Let me hold you. Let's figure this out together. I can't. Board meeting tomorrow. 3 composer interviews Wednesday. Premiere on Friday. Then I'll come home. Marcus, you can't keep doing this. Flying across the world every time we have a crisis. You have a company to run. I don't care about the company. Yes, you do. And you should. She wipes her face. I'm going to go. I need to think. Vera, wait. But she's already gone. Marcus sits in his London hotel room. 53rd floor. Rain on the windows. Alone. The same loneliness he felt before he met her. The same emptiness that made his penthouse feel like a tomb. Except worse now. Because he knows what it's like to not be alone. To have someone who sees him. Who loves him. Who makes everything else make sense. And his losing her. He calls his assistant. Clear my schedule. I'm going home. So you have meetings all week. The Frankfurt presentation. The investor dinner. Cancel it. All of it. But sir. I said cancel it. He books the next flight to New York. Lands at 6 in the morning. Goes straight to the foundation. Vera is already there. In her office. Surrounded by applications. She looks up when he walks in. Surprise and something else on her face. You're supposed to be in London. I was. Now I'm here. Marcus. No. Let me talk. He sits down across from her desk. You're right. About all of it. I'm never here. I'm always choosing work over you. I'm asking you to build a life in the margins of mine. She doesn't argue. But I'm done with that. He leans forward. I'm stepping back from the company. Promoting my CFO to CEO. Staying on as chairman but letting someone else run day-to-day operations. You can't do that. I already did. Called the board this morning. They're announcing it tomorrow. Vera stares at him. Why? Because nothing I've built matters if I lose you. He reaches across the desk. Takes her hand. You asked what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a real chance. Not texts across time zones. Not stolen weekends. A real relationship where I'm actually present. What if it's too late? Is it? She looks at their joined hands. I don't know. I'm scared, Marcus. Of the tabloids. Of people thinking I'm using you. Of my daughter seeing me portrayed as some kind of opportunist. Of losing myself in your world. You won't lose yourself. You're the strongest person I know. I don't feel strong. I feel like I'm drowning. Then let me help you swim. She starts crying. Real sobs that shake her whole body. He moves around the desk. Pulls her up. Holds her while she breaks apart. I love you. She says into his chest. But I don't know if love is enough. It's not. He pulls back to look at her face. Love isn't enough. We also need time. Presence. Commitment. Trust. All the things I haven't been giving you. And now I'm here. And I'm staying. She searches his face. You really stepped down? I really did. But that company is your life. No. He touches her face. You're my life. The company is just how I pay bills. Very expensive bills. She laughs through tears. He kisses her. Soft. Then deeper. Tasting salt and hope and the possibility of repair. When they break apart, she says, okay. Okay. Okay, we try again. For real this time. No more hiding. No more pretending we're just business partners. We tell people. We deal with the tabloids. We build something real even if it's messy. Even if it's messy. He agrees. My daughter needs to meet you properly. Not just casual hellos. Real time together. I'd like that. And you need to be okay with me keeping my own apartment. Not moving into the penthouse right away. Taking this slow. Whatever you need. She nods. Then we try. They kiss again. Longer this time. Her office door is open. Anyone could see. Neither of them cares. This is them choosing each other. Publicly. Permanently. Everything else can wait. Marcus meets Vera's daughter properly on a Saturday afternoon in November. Not at the penthouse. At Vera's small 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. The place where she's lived for 6 years. Where she raised her daughter alone. Where every piece of furniture was bought secondhand and every meal was budgeted to the dollar. He brings flowers. Feels stupid about it immediately. Too formal. Too much. Young Sophia answers the door. She's 14 now. Tall. Her grandmother's eyes. Guarded expression. Hi. Marcus says. These are for. He holds out the flowers awkwardly. For your mom. And you. If you want flowers. Do 14-year-olds like flowers? I don't know. I didn't have kids so. His rambling. He never rambles. He runs a billion-dollar company. negotiates with sharks, doesn't get nervous. But this kid terrifies him. Sophia takes the flowers. Mom, your boyfriend is here and he's being weird. Vera appears from the kitchen, laughing. Be nice. I am being nice. I took his weird flowers. She disappears into the apartment. Marcus looks at Vera helplessly. That went well. He mutters. She's testing you. Vera kisses his cheek. Come on. I made lunch. The apartment is small, clean, warm. Photos on every wall. Sophia's school awards. Vera's mother's picture in a frame on the mantel. Books everywhere. It's more of a home than his penthouse has ever been. They eat sandwiches at a small kitchen table. Young Sophia watches him like he's a bug under a microscope. Oh, she says. You're rich. Sophia. Vera warns. What? I'm just stating facts. She looks at Marcus. You're rich. My mom cleans houses. Well, she used to. Now she runs your foundation. Which you paid for. Because you're rich. That's true. Marcus says carefully. Why? Why what? Why do you like my mom? The question is direct. Honest. He respects it. Because she's brilliant. And kind. And she sees people. Really sees them. She makes me want to be better than I am. Young Sophia considers this. My dad left because we didn't have enough money. He said my mom was too proud. That she wouldn't let him help. That she made everything harder than it needed to be. Vera's face goes tight. Sophia, that's not. No, it's okay. Young Sophia looks at Marcus. I just want to make sure you're not going to leave too. When things get hard. When my mom's pride makes things complicated. Because it will. She doesn't know how to accept help without feeling like she owes something. I'm not going anywhere. Marcus meets the girl's eyes. I love your mother. And I know she's proud. I know she's stubborn. I know she works too hard and doesn't ask for help and carries everything herself. And I love her anyway. Because of those things. Not despite them. Young Sophia studies him for a long moment. Then she nods. Okay. You can date my mom. Vera laughs. Oh, I can. Thank you for your permission. You're welcome. Sophia stands. Clears her plate. I'm going to Amanda's house. I'll be back at 6. She grabs her coat. Stops at the door. Turns back to Marcus. If you hurt her, I'll destroy you. I don't know how yet because you're a billionaire and I'm 14. But I'll find a way. Noted. Good. She leaves. The apartment goes quiet. Vera covers her face with her hands. I'm so sorry. Don't be. Marcus moves his chair closer to hers. She's protecting you. I respect that. She's intense. Wonder where she gets that. Vera drops her hands. Smiles. Are you saying I'm intense? I'm saying you're both fierce. It's a compliment. She kisses him. Slow and sweet. The first real privacy they've had in weeks. When they break apart, she says, "Do you want to see my room?" Is that a euphemism? Maybe. He follows her down the narrow hallway. Her bedroom is small. Double bed. Bookshelf overflowing. Window looking out at the building next door. Nothing like the penthouse. Nothing like Elena's designer perfection. It's real. It's hers. He loves it. They make love in her small bed. Slow. Tender. No rush. Afterward they lie tangled together listening to the city sounds through the thin walls. I like your apartment. Marcus says. It's tiny. It's a home. She traces patterns on his chest. When Elena was alive. Did she live in the penthouse? From the day we got married. Did she like it? Vera sits up. Looks at him. I need to know. Was she happy there? In that big empty place? Marcus thinks about it. Really thinks. I don't know. She said she loved it. Decorated every room. Hosted dinner parties. But. He pauses. Sometimes I'd find her in the studio late at night. Just sitting in the dark. When I'd ask what was wrong, she'd say nothing. That she was just thinking. About what? I never knew. She wouldn't tell me. Maybe about the baby she lost. The life she had before you. The grief she was carrying alone. Maybe. They lie there in the afternoon light. Two people trying to understand a ghost. I'm not her. Vera says quietly. I'll never be elegant like she was. Never fit in your world the way she did. I don't want you to be her. Marcus pulls her close. I want you to be exactly who you are. Messy. Real. Fierce. Stubborn. Proud. All of it. Even when I make things complicated. Especially then. She kisses him. They make love again. Lose track of time. Forget about the world outside. Young Sophia's key in the lock at 6 o'clock brings them back to reality. They're dressed. Decent. Sitting on the couch watching a movie when she comes in. But she takes one look at them and rolls her eyes. Gross. You guys had sex. Sophia. Vera's face goes red. What? I'm 14, not stupid. She heads to her room. I'm going to need therapy. Sorry. Marcus calls after her. You should be. But she's smiling when she closes her door. Vera drops her head onto Marcus's shoulder. My daughter just called us out for having sex. She's observant. She's a nightmare. She's wonderful. Vera looks up at him. You really think so? I really do. And that's when she knows. This might actually work. This complicated, messy, beautiful thing they're building. It might actually last. The Foundation's first anniversary gala is at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. Vera fought against it. Too big. Too expensive. Too public. But Marcus insisted. The composers deserve recognition. You deserve recognition. So here they are. Historic theater packed with donors and musicians and press. Spotlights. Cameras. Red carpet outside. Vera is terrified. She stands backstage in a dress that cost more than her first car. Her mother's necklace around her throat. The only piece of jewelry Sophia owned. A simple silver pendant shaped like a treble clef. Her hands shake. She clutches her notes. The speech she's supposed to give. Words she's rewritten 40 times. Marcus finds her in the wings. You look beautiful. I look like I'm playing dress up. You look like the director of a major foundation about to give the speech of her life. What if I freeze? You won't. What if my voice cracks? Then it cracks. You'll still be brilliant. She takes a shaky breath. Tell me why we're doing this again. Because your mother deserves to be celebrated. Because the composers we funded deserve a spotlight. Because you built something extraordinary and people should know. Right. Okay. She nods. I can do this. You can do this. The stage manager appears. 2 minutes, Ms. Koslov. Vera's eyes go wide. Oh God. Breathe. I can't breathe. Yes, you can. Marcus takes her hands. Look at me. You fought for 37 composers this year. You've changed lives. This is just talking about it. You already did the hard part. Talking in front of 500 people. Just talk to me. Pretend it's just us in the studio. Tell them what you'd tell me. She nods. Okay. Just you. I can do that. The stage manager signals. You're on. Vera walks onto the stage. The lights hit her. Blinding. Hot. She can't see the audience. Just darkness beyond the spotlight. She stands at the microphone. Freezes. Total silence. 500 people waiting. She looks down at her notes. The words blur. Her mind goes blank. This is the nightmare. Failing publicly. Proving everyone right. The maid who got lucky. The fraud. Then she hears it. From the front row. Marcus's voice. Soft but clear. Just talk to me. She looks out into the darkness. Can't see him but knows he's there. So she talks to him. My mother died believing she was a failure. Her voice shakes. She doesn't read from the notes. Just speaks. She was one of the most brilliant composers of her generation. Trained at the best conservatories. Created music that could break your heart or put it back together. And she died broke. Forgotten. Believing that her life's work meant nothing. Vera's eyes fill. She doesn't wipe the tears. Lets them fall. For years I was angry about that. Angry at the world that didn't see her. Angry at the circumstances that buried her talent. Angry at everyone who could have helped but didn't. She takes a breath. Then I met someone who heard her music. Who recognized its value. Who asked, what if we made sure this never happens again? What if we create a world where brilliant people don't die unknown because they're poor or marginalized or just unlucky? The audience is silent. Listening. That's what the Sofia Koslov Foundation is. It's a refusal to let talent die in silence. It's a promise that we see you. We hear you. Your work matters. Her voice strengthens. This year we funded 37 composers. 37 people who were told they weren't good enough. That their music was too strange or too classical or too modern or too ethnic or too something. People who were working 3 jobs to pay rent while writing symphonies at midnight. People like my mother. She smiles through tears. One of them won a Pulitzer Prize nomination. 3 got teaching positions. 12 had major premieres. But honestly, the metrics I care about most are the emails I get. The ones that say thank you for believing in me. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for making me feel like my music matters. She looks out into the darkness. Because it does matter. All of it. Every note. Every composition. Every voice that might otherwise have been silenced. It all matters. The room explodes into applause. Standing ovation. But Vera barely hears it. She's looking for Marcus. Finds him in the front row. Standing. Tears on his face. She mouths I love you. He mouths it back. The rest of the program blurs. Performances. More speeches. A video tribute to Sofia featuring recordings from the album. Young composers talking about how the foundation changed their lives. Then Vera's back on stage. Not speaking this time. Singing. It wasn't in the program. Marcus arranged it as a surprise. Insisted she needed to perform. To let people hear the voice that started everything. She sings the song of what remains. A cappella. No accompaniment. Just her voice in the historic theatre. The same stage where Ella Fitzgerald performed. Where James Brown recorded. Where legends were born. Her voice isn't perfect. It cracks on the high notes. Wavers with emotion. But it's honest. Raw. Real. She sings to her mother. To Elena. To Marcus. To everyone who's ever lost something and had to figure out how to keep living. When the last note fades, there's a moment of pure silence. Then the theatre erupts. People on their feet. Crying. Cheering. The sound washes over her like a wave. She's been heard. Finally. Fully. Completely. Marcus meets her backstage. Pulls her into his arms. Holds her while she shakes. You were perfect. He whispers. I almost threw up. Still perfect. She laughs. Cries. Can't tell which. Young Sofia appears. Vera's daughter fought to be here tonight. Insisted she was old enough. Mature enough. Mom. She's crying too. That was. She can't find words. Just hugs Vera tight. This moment. This perfect moment. Vera knows she'll remember it forever. The night she stepped fully into herself. Into her voice. Into her life. After the gala they walk through Harlem. Marcus. Vera. Young Sofia. Just walking. No destination. Processing the night. They end up at a small cafe. Still open. Nearly empty. They order coffee. Hot chocolate for Sofia. Sit in a corner booth. Can I ask you something? Young Sofia says to Marcus. Of course. Are you going to marry my mom? Vera chokes on her coffee. Sofia. What? It's a reasonable question. We've been dating less than a year. So? You're old. Why waste time? Marcus laughs. Your daughter makes a good point. Don't encourage her. He looks at Vera. Then at young Sophia. The answer is yes. When your mom is ready. When you're ready. Yes. Young Sophia nods. Satisfied. Okay. Just wanted to know. She goes back to her hot chocolate like she didn't just change everything. Vera stares at Marcus. Her face unreadable. Too soon? He asks quietly. Maybe. She says. Probably. Then she smiles. Ask me again in 6 months. I will. They sit in the cafe until it closes. Talking. Laughing. Being a family. The kind that's chosen. Built. Earned. On the walk home, young Sophia falls asleep on her feet. Marcus carries her the last 3 blocks. This billionaire CEO carrying a teenager through Brooklyn at 1 in the morning. Vera watches him. This man who stepped away from his empire for her. Who shows up. Who stays. Who loves her daughter almost as much as he loves her. They get back to the apartment. Marcus lays Sophia on her bed. Vera covers her up. They stand in the doorway watching her sleep. Thank you. Vera whispers. For tonight. For all of it. Thank you for letting me be part of this. They go to Vera's room. Make love quietly. Fall asleep tangled together in her small bed. And for the first time in years, neither of them dreams of the dead. They dream of the future. Of what's possible. Of second movements that turn into symphonies. 6 months later, Marcus takes Vera to a cafe in Brooklyn. Small place. Unremarkable. She's confused why he wanted to come here specifically. They order coffee. Sit by the window. Do you know where we are? He asks. A cafe? This cafe. Specifically. She looks around. I don't. Should I? This is where your mother met Elena. Vera goes very still. What? I had my assistant research it. Cross-reference dates from Sophia's journals with Elena's calendar from 2016. They met here. First Tuesday in March. This table. Or one very close to it. Vera's eyes fill. Why would you? How did you? Because I wanted to bring you here. To the place where it all started. Where 2 grieving women found each other. Where your mother shared her music and Elena took it and everything got complicated. She wipes her face. I know. They sit in silence. Vera looks around the cafe with new eyes. Imagining her mother here. Young Sophia. Brilliant and broken. Meeting Elena. Sharing music. Trusting. Do you think my mother knew? Vera asks. That Elena would take her song? No. Marcus says. I think she trusted. And trust is always a risk. Was it worth it? The risk? Even though Elena took the music? Vera considers. Without that theft you never would have heard me singing. We never would have met. The foundation wouldn't exist. 37 composers wouldn't have been funded. My mother's music would still be in boxes. Oh. She meets his eyes. Yes. It was worth it. Marcus reaches into his jacket. Pulls out a small box. What's that? Open it. Inside is a ring. Simple. Elegant. A single diamond set in platinum. I know I said I'd wait 6 months. But we're here. At the place where everything began. And I can't think of a better moment to ask. He gets down on one knee. The cafe goes quiet. Other customers watching. Vera Koslov. You've taught me what it means to be seen. To be challenged. To be loved without conditions. You've taken broken things. Your mother's legacy. My grief. Our wounds. And you've made them beautiful. You've made me better than I was. Happier than I thought possible. You've given me a family. A purpose. A life that actually feels like living. He's crying now. So is she. I know this is complicated. I know people will judge. I know your daughter terrifies me and you're too proud and stubborn for your own good and we fight about stupid things and you refuse to let me help with anything and sometimes I want to shake you. She laughs through tears. But I love you. All of it. Every complicated, beautiful piece of you. So I'm asking, will you marry me? The cafe is dead silent. Everyone waiting. Vera looks at the ring. At Marcus. At the table where her mother once sat with Elena. Where everything began. Ask me in Russian. What? My mother would have wanted this moment in Russian. So ask me in Russian. Marcus's Russian is terrible. Limited to a few phrases Vera taught him. But he tries. Ya tebya lublю. Vijdi za menya. His accent is awful. He probably said it wrong. But Vera doesn't care. Da. She says. Yes. In any language. Yes. He slides the ring onto her finger. Stands. Kisses her while the cafe erupts in applause. When they break apart she's laughing. You butchered that pronunciation. I know. I love you anyway. I know. They sit back down. Order more coffee. Look at the ring on her finger. At each other. At the life they're building. Oh. Vera says. We're getting married. We're getting married. Your mother is going to lose her mind. She already knows. I asked her permission last week. You asked my daughter too, didn't you? Of course. I'm not an idiot. Vera shakes her head. Smiling. Whenever you want. Tomorrow. Next year. I don't care as long as you're there. She thinks. Something small. Just family. Friends. The foundation composers. Done. At the brownstone. Where the foundation is. Where my mother's music lives. Perfect. She looks around the cafe again. I wish my mother could be here. She is. Marcus takes her hand. In the music. In the foundation. In you. She's here. And Elena. Her too. They sit together. In the cafe where two dead women once found friendship. Where grief connected strangers. Where music changed hands and lives were altered forever. Everything that was broken leading to this. This moment. This love. This second chance. The song of what remains. They marry on a Saturday in October. 1 year and 6 days after the foundation opened. Small ceremony. Just like Vera wanted. 50 people in the brownstone's main hall. Sophia's photograph on the mantel. Elena's photograph beside it. Both women present. Both honored. Young Sophia walks Vera down the aisle. Gives her away. Hugs Marcus and whispers, if you hurt her I'll still destroy you. I know. He whispers back. The vows are simple. Personal. Vera cries through hers. Marcus's voice breaks on his. They promise to see each other. To stay. To build something real from their broken pieces. To honor the dead by living fully. When they kiss the room erupts. 50 people who know their story. Who watch them fall apart and come together. Who believe in second chances. The reception is music. Of course it's music. Composers they funded perform. Young Sophia plays piano. Badly but with enthusiasm. Marcus gives a speech about how his life was a tomb until someone sang in the dark. Vera's speech is shorter. She just thanks everyone for believing that buried dreams can bloom. Then she sings. Marcus at the piano. The song her mother wrote. The song Elena took. The song that brought them together. The song of what remains. When it ends there's not a dry eye in the room. They dance. Vera in her simple dress. Marcus in his suit. Holding each other like they're the only two people in the world. Your mother would be proud. He says. Yours too. Elena. She'd want you happy. This is happy. Yes. He pulls her closer. This is happy. They dance until late. Until young Sophia falls asleep on a couch. Until the composers are drunk and crying and promising to write pieces for the wedding. Until it's just the two of them and empty bottles and the ghosts of women who loved them. Ready to go home? Marcus asks. Where's home? Wherever you are. They wake young Sophia. Call a car. Drive through Brooklyn. To Vera's apartment. Not the penthouse. She's not ready for that yet. Maybe never. And Marcus doesn't care. Home is where she is. They carry Sophia to bed. Tuck her in. Stand in the doorway of Vera's small room. We're married, Vera says, sounding surprised. We're married. That's wild. Completely. She kisses him. Slow. Sweet. Forever. They make love in her small bed. As husband and wife. Two broken people who found each other in the dark and decided to build light. Afterward they lie tangled together. The city sounds through the walls. The world moving on. But here in this moment everything is still. Vera traces the tattoo Marcus got last month. Sophia's melody. The opening bars. Inked over his heart. You really love me, she says. Not a question. A realization. More than I knew was possible. Even though I'm stubborn. Especially because you're stubborn. Even though I make things hard. You make things real. There's a difference. She's quiet for a moment. Then. I'm scared. Of what? That this is too good. That I'll wake up and it'll be gone. That I don't deserve this much happiness. Marcus rolls to face her. Cups her face in his hands. You deserve everything. And this is real. I'm real. We're real. And I'm not going anywhere. Promise? I promise. She believes him. For the first time maybe ever she believes that good things can last. That love doesn't have to end in loss. That second chances are real. They fall asleep holding each other. Two people who were drowning. Who found each other. Who learned to swim. And somewhere in the space between sleeping and waking. Between grief and joy. Between what was and what is. They hear music. Sophia's melody. Elena's ghost. The song of what remains. Everything they lost. Everything they found. Everything they're still becoming. The music plays on. 5 years later. The Sofia Koslov Foundation has funded 218 composers. 12 have won major awards. 43 have secured permanent positions. Hundreds of lives changed. Thousands of performances. A legacy that grows. Vera runs it all. Fierce. Dedicated. Unstoppable. She's become a force in the classical music world. Someone who fights for the marginalized. Who believes in beauty others dismiss. Marcus stepped back from his company entirely. Sold most of his shares. Kept enough to stay comfortable. Now he spends his time supporting the foundation. Being a husband. A stepfather. Living. They moved out of the penthouse 2 years ago. Too big. Too empty. Too haunted. Bought a brownstone in Brooklyn. Near the foundation. Near Vera's daughter who's now in college studying music composition. Following her grandmother's path. But this time with support. With resources. With a future. The penthouse sits empty. Marcus keeps meaning to sell it. But something stops him. That's where Elena lived. Where he heard Vera sing. Where everything changed. Maybe some places are meant to be left alone. Monuments to who we were. Not where we live but where we remember. On a Tuesday evening in October Marcus and Vera walk through Brooklyn. Their neighborhood now. They stop at the cafe. Their cafe. Where Sophia met Elena. Where Marcus proposed. Where everything began. They order coffee. Sit at their table. Do you ever think about her? Vera asks. Elena. Sometimes. Do you miss her? I miss the version of her I thought I knew. But I don't miss the loneliness. The emptiness. The life I was living. Do you think she'd forgive us? For being happy? Marcus considers. I think she'd understand. She knew what it was like to lose everything and have to rebuild. She knew about second chances. Vera nods. Looks out the window. I think my mother would like you. Yeah. You're a bit like the man she loved. Passionate. A little broken. Trying to make beauty from pain. That's all any of us can do. They sit in comfortable silence. 5 years married. 8 years since that first night in the studio. A lifetime of grief and healing compressed into moments. Young Sophia texts. Now 20. Bright. Talented. Still protective of her mother. Still wary of Marcus. But softer now. She calls him Marcus. Sometimes almost Dad. It's progress. The text says. Finished my first symphony. Want to hear it? Vera's face lights up. She's done. The symphony. Marcus smiles. When? Tomorrow night. At the foundation. Private performance. We'll be there. They finish their coffee. Walk home through familiar streets. Past the foundation. Past the brownstone where Sophia's music is archived. Past the cafe where grief connected strangers. Home to their house. Small but warm. Full of life. Young Sophia's childhood photos. Vera's mother's scores framed on walls. Elena's picture in a place of honor. Not hidden. Not worshipped. Just remembered. They make dinner together. Pasta. Wine. Simple. They eat and talk about the foundation. About young Sophia's symphony. About plans for next year. Expanding the program. Funding more composers. Making more room for voices that deserve to be heard. After dinner, Vera goes to the piano in their living room. Sophia's piano. Rescued from storage. Restored. Played daily. She plays the song of what remains. Marcus sits beside her. Adds his voice to hers. Terrible singer but sincere. They play and sing and laugh when he hits wrong notes. And somewhere in the music all the ghosts are listening. Sophia. Elena. Everyone they've lost. Everyone who led them here. The song ends. The house goes quiet. Just the two of them. Breathing. Living. Loving. This is what remains. Vera says. After everything. This. Marcus kisses her temple. This is enough. More than enough. They sit at the piano. Two broken people who found each other. Who built something beautiful from ruins. Who proved that second movements can be sweeter than first. That love after loss is possible. That grief can transform into grace. Outside the window Brooklyn lives. Inside their home music plays. And everything that was stolen. Everything that was lost. Everything that almost died in silence. It all lives here. In them. In the foundation. In young Sophia's compositions. In the hundreds of voices they've helped amplify. The song of what remains. Not just a melody. A promise. A truth. That when everything else is gone. When loss strips us bare and grief hollows us out. When we think we'll never feel whole again. Music remains. Love remains. The echo of who we were and who we're becoming remains. And if we're brave enough. If we're honest enough. If we're willing to be broken and still choose beauty. We remain too. Marcus and Vera sit together at the piano. The light fading outside. The music continuing inside. Two people who were drowning. Who found each other. Who learned that sometimes the most beautiful things are built from broken pieces. Sometimes what was stolen leads to what was meant to be found. Sometimes the second movement is the masterpiece. The song plays on. And they play with it. For as long as they both shall live. If this story moved you. If you believe in second chances and the power of honoring those we've lost. If you've ever felt invisible and needed someone to truly see you. Please subscribe to Tales of Desire with Mr. Walker for more stories that will stay with you long after they end. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear that buried dreams can bloom again. That love after loss is possible. That broken people can build beautiful things together. Leave a comment telling me. What remains when everything else is lost? What's your second movement? What dream have you buried that deserves to be heard? Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing in stories that matter. Thank you for being part of this community that values truth and emotion and the messy, beautiful reality of being human. Until next time, keep listening. Keep believing. Keep singing your song even when you think no one's listening. Because someone always is. And your voice matters. The end.